Hey guys, how you doing? Luna here with a new video. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a different type of video. I don't usually do this. We don't have an album to review. We're not talking about a certain topic. Today we're reacting. I have to be honest, I never thought I would do this sort of videos on the channel, but I came across this list from the Rolling Stone magazine ranking the top 100 Beatles songs of all time, and I was like, I have to read this. Mainly because I don't think there's a proper way to do this list. I believe that the discography of the Beatles is way too diverse, from the Beatlemania years to the folk rock to the psychedelia to the heavier sound in the White Album and Abbey Road years. You know, I don't know how you can balance the importance of the popularity that the Beatlemania years gave the Beatles and then the influence of the band's output in the late 60s. However, if you had to rely on a magazine to do that, I personally believe that the Rolling Stone would be one of the best ones to do so that's why I kind of wanted to react to this list with you guys. Obviously, I'm not going to go through the whole list with you guys. This video would be way too long if I were to do that. I'm just going to give my opinion on the most interesting picks, the ones I disagree with or the ones I agree with the most. So yeah, if you want to see the whole list, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description so you guys can check it out for yourselves. Some quick predictions before we jump into the list. I believe that number one will either be Hey Jude, Strawberry Fields Forever, or A Day in the Life. I also think that some of the most important or relevant Beatlemania songs like She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and All My Loving will be really high up this list, you know, and that's going to be the most triggering part. And also, because it's a Rolling Stone magazine, I believe there's going to be quite a lot John Lennon favoritism in this list. So yeah, those are my three predictions.
That's right.
That's right. And tell me, you brought three of your friends. Could you please introduce
Yes, there's
them?
George Parasol, Ringo Stone, and Paul McCharmley.
So, I think I already found the first weird pick on this list, and that would be Yes It Is at number 99. Listen, on paper, considering the fact that the Beatles have only more than 200 songs in their catalog, a top 100 song sounds reasonable. However, we're talking about the greatest discography of all time, so even if you're taking almost half of the band's discography into this list, you're still going to leave some really important songs out. Yes It Is was basically a redo of This Boy. It's a different song. I'm not saying this is a case of self-plagiarism, but if This Boy is also on this list, and I guess it will be because of the popularity of that song, this is a waste. You know, putting Yes It Is in this list is a waste. Alright, so this is a really good example of what I was talking about. Number 96, Within You Without You by George Harrison, and number 95, Anytime at All by John Lennon. Listen, there's probably hours of footage in this channel of how I didn't really enjoy the Indian face of George Harrison all that much. However, it was definitely way more significant for the band's sound than Anytime at All, a song that belongs to an album like A Hard Day's Night, where you can find a bunch of other songs that sound sort of the same, you know, not the same, but definitely carry the same energy. So I don't really understand what the metric was, especially because at number 98, we have Long, 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 one of the greatest songs in the White Album, and in my opinion, the best composition George Harrison had with the Beatles. And as I continue, I'm starting to believe that it's going to be a trend throughout the whole list, because at number 88, we have Rain, one of the first purely psychedelic songs John Lennon ever made, and then at number 87, we have Love Me Do. Love Me Do was the first single by the band, incredibly popular in the US, one of the first songs John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote together, obviously really important, but the beginning of John Lennon's psychedelic era, I think it's a little bit more interesting than Love Me Do, therefore I feel like it deserves to be a little bit higher. Overall, putting Rain at number 88 is more than enough of an insult, but putting it below Love Me Do is a little bit too much, especially because at number 86, we have Lady Madonna. Maybe it's time to confess that I might be wrong about my John Lennon prediction at the beginning of the video, because at number 84, somehow we have Across the Universe, one of the highlights of the band's discography in terms of lyrics and in terms of beauty. I mean, the horns, the string arrangements, John Lennon's philosophical lyrics. There's so much to love about this song, and they put it beneath I'm So Tired. I mean, at number 80, you have Paul McCartney's Mother Nature's Son, another track that tries to focus a little bit more on the lyrical side of things. So how is this song better than Across the Universe? Alright, so we're taking quite a big leap here. I've been complaining about the John Lennon placements on this list for about 10 minutes or so, but I think I'm going to cut it. We went through some incredible songs. I mean, Girl, Nowhere Man, Dear Prudence, some of the most incredible compositions in those mid to late 60s era of John Lennon, and they were so low on the list and not even cracking the top 50. I don't really know what type of songs are going to be included in the top 50, but already I can't. I don't know. But before we we move on to the top 50, I wanted to point this one out real quick. 59, I Want You She's So Heavy, is crazy work. I mean, this is insanity. Beneath, I've Just Seen a Face by Paul McCartney at number 58. I Want You is basically the prelude to a multitude of genres. Heavy rock music, metal music, progressive rock music, with the drone sounds, the synths, the heavy guitar playing, the distorted singing by John Lennon. There's a multitude of reasons why this is the most incredible sounding song in the Abbey Road album, in my opinion, the clear highlight of that incredible album. So the fact that you put it beneath I've Just Seen a Face and It Won't Be Long, for example, at number 53 is crazy to me. Helter Skelter at number 52, my god. If I Needed Someone didn't even make it to the top 50, okay, well, you know, it's the first half. It's, as I said in the beginning of the video, it's very difficult to balance out all of these different genres, so for the most part, they did a wonderful job with the list. I agree with most of the picks, but there's definitely some ridiculous ones. So let's see if they do a slightly better job with the top 50 best Beatles songs of all time.
Well, John, here is the American public, 40 million American viewers.
It only looks like one man to me.
Staring you right in the face.
Oh, it's the cameraman.
The picks are really good on the second half, so I think we're going to jump into the top 20 and see if we agree with it. However, I would like to point out a few things here. For example, Here Comes the Sun being at number 28. I don't know who made this decision, especially placing it beneath You're Going to Lose That Girl. I really don't understand who would listen to both songs and decide, yeah, You're Going to Lose That Girl is definitely better than Here Comes the Sun, probably the most popular and recognizable opening riff out of any Beatles song, and maybe even the most popular Beatles song. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked on Apple Music was the most streamed song of, currently of the band. You also have the Abbey Road Medley being at number 23 and Eleanor Rigby at number 22, which is kind of questionable, especially because as I jump into the top 20, the first song I see is Please Please Me. I love Please Please Me. I know how important this song was for the band, especially in terms of popularity. I believe it stayed at number 1 for 13, 14 weeks. I don't really remember, but if it's about popularity, don't you think that Here Comes the Sun should be higher? In the article, they sort of made it seem like it was the sexual energy the song carried, with Capitol deciding not to release it as a single in the US initially, but I don't think that's enough to bring a song that is very similar to a lot of their Beatlemania compositions all the way up to number 20, above songs that were so much more important for their evolution as songwriters and the evolution of music overall. I mean, just take a look at some of the songs that are right next to it, okay? You have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds at number 19, Tomorrow Never Knows at number 18, which is ridiculous. I can't believe that this song is so low. Ticket to Ride at number 17. Songs that were way more unique, interesting, influential at the time. I don't really understand why Please Please Me would be at number 20. And that's the thing I don't really understand about this list. I don't really know the metrics used to create it, because you have Help at number 15 and then you have She Loves You at number 14. Once again, incredibly popular. I know that it was one of the leading charges in the Beatlemania years of the band, but Help was literally the first time that John Lennon got extremely personal with his lyrics while still maintaining the up-tempo nature of the Beatlemania era of the band. It was an incredible, transformative work. You can make a whole essay about Help, but still it's a really enjoyable and catchy song, so I don't really understand why the people who made this list decided that She Loves You was better. It happens again with Norwegian Wood, one of the most important songs in the band's discography. They're basically their transition into the psychedelic, being placed in number 12, and then A Hard Day's Night, the title track for their movie and their album, being placed in number 11. I love the song. I think it's one of the catchiest songs ever, but you know, there's levels to this. The top 10 is the thing that shocked me the most, because I knew that it doesn't really matter the order in which the songs are placed in, as long as you have the typical songs, you know, Hey Jude, Let It Be, Come Together, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, A Day in the Life. I was gonna be happy. I was gonna be fine with the placement as long as you have those specific songs in the top 10. However, at number 2, I Wanna Hold Your Hand is crazy work. This is insanity at play, because I understand, you know, that usually when people think about the Beatles, they think about that Ed Sullivan performance, the song. I know it's one of the most popular songs of all time. 15 weeks at number 1, the beginning of the Beatles as the biggest band in the world, and basically kickstarting the British invasion. I can see how this song was really important. However, let's look at some of the songs beneath it, okay? Strawberry Fields Forever at number 3, Yesterday at number 4, In My Life at number 5, Something at number 6, Hey Jude at number 7, Let It Be at number 8, Come Together at number 9, and then While My Guitar Gently Weeps at number 10. Like, those are among the greatest pieces of music ever written, ever. In the history of music recording, and I'm not exaggerating, each song represents a transformation for the band. Yesterday showing that the Beatles were way more than just a rock and roll band, While My Guitar Gently Weeps showing George Harrison's awakening as a songwriter past the point of the Indian influences come together, being the best, chemistry moment of the band after their terrible relationship in 1967 and 1968. Something being one of the most romantic songs of all time, as said by Frank Sinatra himself. Like, every single song in here was a clear cultural juggernaut in their own respect, so putting I Want to Hold Your Hand above all of that seems to be a questionable decision. To be fully honest, I don't even think I Want to Hold Your Hand should be in the top 10, especially when just before that you have songs like Help, Norwegian Wood, that would have been a way better fit for the top 10 greatest Beatles songs ever. However, I will give this a pass because, number one, I totally agree with. You have A Day in the Life, in my opinion, the greatest song ever made. I am not exaggerating. There's a very few songs that had made me feel so amazed and so impressed as I was with A Day in the Life, and for that reason I think it deserves to be number one. Obviously incredibly influential, very unique. I don't think that there's another song in the music world out there with the same dynamics and that sort of mimics the idea of A Day in the Life effectively. And because it's such a unique piece of music, because it seems to be the epitome of John Lennon's collaboration with Paul McCartney, I believe it's a really good way to, close this list with their greatest achievement, in my opinion, being put as the band's peak in this list. I definitely agree with that. Overall, I think they did a really good job with this list. I definitely disagree with a few of the placements. Some songs were put above others, but the picks are really good. I think they pretty much captured most of the band's best work in this list, which is what you would want from a top 100 best songs of all time list. And as I said in the beginning of the video, it was clear that I was going to disagree with more than a few placements because balancing out the Beatlemania stuff and the more experimental stuff of the band is pretty much impossible. So I think that the Rolling Stones did an amazing job with the list.
Girls do you prefer? My wife.
Your wife. What kind of girl is she?
She's a nice girl.
What kind of girl do you like?
John's wife.
John's wife?
Totally not. Such a plan.
Only like.
And that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any other videos that I upload. If you want me to talk about any other topic related to music, if you want me to check out a song, an album, or an artist, leave it down below as well, and I'll make sure to read it and fulfill your request as soon as I can. Once again, I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that I can see you soon with a new video. But until then, bye.